Alright, when you're doing the pre-hop for this part, we're using the shiny bit of the elevator here as it comes up for knowing when to actually jump. And that means if you want to do this, you have to have view model off, because the view model is directly in the way and you can't see it at all. So you have to have view model off to be able to do the pre-hop using this part. After you've done the first two hops, you sort of throw the cube forward with left click like that, so that it slides into the edge of this like that. And then you aim the shot to there, so that it can go into the orb catcher. Alright, when you're going in for Rubby here, you want to walk up, you want to have the cube up like this, so you can see where you're walking, so that you can walk in line with this beam. And then once you're up here, you look down and stick it to the floor like that. You let go on the floor, it doesn't inherit speed. Usually like that. So you want to do that, have it against the floor so it doesn't inherit speed. And then your deceleration will carry you into the cube. And while you're decelerating, you want to turn around like this and then grab the cube from behind. And the benefit of doing that is it makes the Rubby more consistent, because then the cube's pushing against your bounding box the whole time. So you want to grab it like that. And then for the spacing for the Rubby, you just move, you tap right, and then start save loading around here-ish. So it'll look like this. And then you should get Rubby pretty much every single time. Okay, immediately after you finish save loading, you want to move your camera to the left so that the cube stops freaking out, so you can still be holding onto it. And then you just move back into the left a bit. Like that. And you want to be crouching while you do that as well, so you can get in position for the vertical wall warp. And for the vertical wall warp itself, for position, left, right, you want to just be using the this little block that you can see sticking out of the screen. And then you, for left or right, you line up like this so that it's central with the ground on the floor, like that. As you can see, I can see it and I can't. I want it to be around there. And then for back and forward, you want to get into around the 280s. And the way I do that is by using this edge against that edge. So around there, you can see I'm at 285. So that's a pretty good lineup for the vertical wall warp. Alright, then for the vertical wall warp itself, you want to jump, save a load, and then press use pretty tightly together. And you want to be holding crouch the whole time as well, so your feet don't poke out of bounds once you get upwards. And it should look like that. Alright, and then after you've done the vertical warp, this is the hardest part, trying to get the shot into this rim consistently. So the first thing you do is you stay holding crouched, and then after you've done the vertical warp, you start holding W during the load, and start moving left during the load with your mouse like that, pretty quickly. So it should end up looking something like that. And you want to be going upwards as well, so that you're aiming at the top of the wall, because that makes the shot in 07 a bit easier. And the reason you want to be holding W is because if you don't hold W, by the time you end up having to fire, this stool gets in the way of a lot of the area of wall that you can aim at here. Alright, for getting consistent at the shot itself, you want to do the motions I just explained while holding left click after letting go of the cube. And then you just do that over and over again until you can get used to firing in the corner before learning the rest of the route. So just this over and over and over again until you're good enough at it. And then once you've gotten used to how that works and doing it on cap, you can then time the origin warp like that. Because you can't do it too late, because if you do it too late, you end up falling out of bounds. So you want to get used to firing this on cap, and then you can start adding the origin warp afterwards, like that. Alright, after you've done the origin warp, you need to grab the cube again without hitting this portal bubble that you can see here. Because right now I've still got save glitch, but if I hit the portal bubble, I don't have save glitch anymore. So you need to jump around the portal like this, without hitting the portal bubble, and then grab the cube like that. Which generally just looks like that. And then for grabbing the cube itself, you can grab slightly further away if you're looking above, like that. So when you go to grab the cube, look upwards like this, and then you'll be able to grab from further away. Okay, and after you've grabbed the cube again, you walk backwards, jump once, until you're around this area. Alright, and then for starting the slide itself, you need to put the cube against the floor so that it sticks like that, and then crouch jump forward at the same time you let go, like that. And you want to make sure you avoid actually touching the cube as well. And then once you're in front of the cube, you grab it like that, and that's how you get the cube slide. And for the timing of when you want to let go of the cube, you want to do it early enough that you are falling down enough to hit the shot in 07, but not so early that you end up out of bounds, which ends up looking something like this. And for the shot itself, you want to look straight down after letting go of the cube. Like that. And then you fire the shot once you're near the back of the elevator shaft, like that. And then after you've hit the shot, you just hit your origin warp button. Like that. For this part, you can either walk to the portal like that and do a QCE, or you can crouch jump over the portal and then do a QCE like that. The main thing you want to make sure is that you end up still near the portal, in the portal bubble like this, because it's important for the next part. And then next you fire a portal up there, and then while it's traveling, you origin warp again off of this portal here. So you want to jump, fire the portal, and then origin warp. Like that. And for the ending movement, right after the origin warp, you want to jump forward like that, so that you end up on this beam, and then you straighten out your angle, and then just hold right. Like that. And that lets you get a clean strafe onto this part, and then you can do 2 AFHs to the ending. Another quick thing to mention is if the orb doesn't land in the catcher, or if you end up going too fast, there's a huge chance you just die when you do the origin warp up there. I don't know why it happens, but you just die a lot of the time when you origin warp and the orb's still active.